हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूं अमित त्यागी और आज मैं आपको लेकर चल रहा हूं फैशन की उस दुनिया में जो वाकई में एक बहुत ही सुनहरी दुनिया थी। इमेजिन कीजिए 90s और 80s का वो दौर जब भारतीय फैशन एक ट्रांजिशन से गुजर रहा था। उस जमाने के मॉडल सुपर मॉडल हुआ करते थे और बहुत सारे सपने उन्होंने इंडिया को दिखाए। वक्त बदला, आज सब कुछ बहुत आसान हो गया है, लेकिन वो जमाना था रियल फैशन का। और आज मेरे साथ एक ऐसी कलाकार है जिन्होंने फैशन को एक डेफिनेशन दिया। आज भी कभी आप गूगल करें और इंडियन फैशन मॉडल डालें तो इनका नाम सबसे ऊपर आता है। तो मेरे साथ है नोयोनिका चैटर्जी, द रियल ओजी ऑफ फैशन इन इंडिया। सो नोयोनिका, जैसे मैंने कहा कि आज दुनिया बहुत ही एक छोटा सा गोला बन गई है। गूगल पे डालो, एवरीथिंग इज लुक सो इजी फॉर पीपल। किसी को मॉडल बनना है तो बहुत आसान है, लेकिन जब आप लोग आए थे तो वो एक सपना होता था। मॉडल बनना बहुत नॉट इजी। एंड जो आइकॉन्स थे, दे वर रियल आइकॉन, दे वर सुपर मॉडल्स। और आज भी जैसे मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि आप गूगल करें तो वो 6 या 7 नाम ही आते हैं: मिलिंद सोमन, मधु सापरे, नोयोनिका चैटर्जी। तो बदल तो गए हैं, लेकिन वो मॉडल अब नहीं रहे। सुपर मॉडल जो स्टेटस हुआ करता था, तो 80s 90s में जो ऑरा था। तो क्या लगता है नोयोनिका, कितना बदल गया है या फिर कुछ बदला नहीं है?
बहुत कुछ बदल गया है बिकॉज उस जमाने में ना एक स्ट्रगल थी सब में कि प्रूव करना है। मॉडलिंग एक अच्छी इंडस्ट्री कंसिडर नहीं की जाती थी। सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू हैव अ स्ट्रगल, व्हेन यू आर एमिंग फॉर समथिंग, एक गोल रहे। एक तो एक आदमी बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट लेता है उसके करियर में क्योंकि आगे बढ़ना है। सेकेंडली क्या है कि एवरीथिंग इज सर्व्ड ऑन अ प्लेटर आजकल। जैसे हमको हमारा अपना मेकअप करना पड़ता था, वॉक कोई सिखाने वाला होता नहीं था। तो वी हैड टू डू इट द हार्ड वे, स्ट्रगल करते करते सीख रहे थे। सो एंड बिकॉज यू वर इंटरेस्टेड, our goal was to do our job well. Today the goal is not just that. They just want instant fame, instant money. It's an instant generation.
Okay.
The work is already half cut out, from their lives. Because we are going to tell them exactly where we learned it the hard way. So our survival was much more unique, and there was a lot of learning. Today you just put in a situation and then you get instant fame from all this social media, and then
you fade away.
Yeah, and then you don't even realize. You don't value that. We valued it because we worked towards it. So, and I think our learning was much more in depth, and that's why we value that work, we value that industry, and we could make a name for themselves.
तो 80s में आपने जब शुरू किया, फिर 90s का दौर है, मुझे लगता है कि वो सबसे बेहतरीन था फैशन की दुनिया में। मतलब सुपर मॉडल्स जैसे आपके कंटेम्प्रेरीज अना ब्रैडमेयर हो या फिर लेटर मधु सापरे हो एंड मिलिंद सोमन हो, दीज आर द ओनली नेम्स लिमिट होके रह गए हैं। इसके बियॉन्ड गिनती खत्म हो गई है। तो नोयोनिका, क्या वजह है? उसके बाद सुपर मॉडल्स बनने बंद हो गए हैं? ऐसा तो नहीं, आजकल इंस्टाग्राम पे तो हर लड़की लड़का सुपर मॉडल ही लगता है। तो वो, लेकिन आज भी वो स्टेटस, वो दर्जा जो आप लोगों का है, वो कोई नहीं, उसके मतलब आपको कोई रिप्लेस नहीं कर पाया।
I don't think ये मॉडल्स की फॉल्ट पूरी है। I think it's a little bit of fault of also the designers, because if you notice, जब fashion was becoming more professional, it was becoming a serious industry, we were as big as the designers, right?
Yes.
But the designers need the models, but they don't want them to become bigger.
Okay,
they want the concentration only on the clothes, not the personality or not the people anymore. Which I think is a wrong way to look at it. But I also feel, because if you see now, her show me everybody got the same makeup and hair.
Yeah, they all look the same.
They all look the same. So you've made them clones of each other. You don't let their personality shine. Like if Madhu had short hair, they would leave her hair in that style. I had curly hair, I have curly hair, and they would leave it my style because they wanted the clothes also to blend with the personalities. Now they just want hangers. That's one problem.
Okay.
And two, today nobody has the time. Like we used to be so interested in our job. If I couldn't walk in heels, I should borrow those heels back from the designer, go and practice it at home. We do the best job.
You used to take that job very seriously.
Okay, even though everyone used to say modeling is not a career and modeling is not, I said whatever you do, you must do it the best, right? For the generation now, first of all, everything is on a platter. Okay, everyone knows too much. They don't feel that there's the need to take that much interest. Like I will still check my outfit before I go onto the ramp to see pockets hai ki nahi, belt hai ki nahi, कैसे पोज करना चाहिए, इस आउटफिट में कैसे अच्छी तरह दिखाना चाहिए, which is our job. But they feel कि no, just walk and come off, or just pose and come off, and that's it. So you have to take a little bit more interest, and in that interest you also groom yourself, which they don't understand. So I feel only those will survive or make a more name for themselves when they are really interested and they want to learn and improve themselves.
Noyonika, I want your journey to be told to our viewers. So 80s में कलकत्ता में born हुई लड़की, मुंबई में पली बड़ी, and I heard आपका जो इसमें जो आपका इस 24 में आना was like an accident. It just happened. So take us to that time when you were like a college student, suddenly became a model, and how did it all begin?
So basically, I was in Bombay and I had joined St. Xavier's College, which by the way had a lot of models in it.
Okay.
Senior models and all that. And it was a young college, so they used to come and do a lot of scouting.
Yeah.
But I was born dark, with so much curly hair, so tall. All my childhood I had heard कि my God, इसका क्या करेंगे, इसका क्या करेंगे, from relatives or friends, not from my parents. My parents were superly supportive, and so I never thought modeling was. I never even tried. But I started dating my husband, who's my husband now, and he was a model. And then when they came scouting in college, St. Xavier's, they asked me whether I would want to model. So I asked him, "Is this company okay?" So he said, no, it's a very good company, it's bona fide.
Okay.
So I did my first show, fully unsure whether I wanted to do this, how it will turn out. Because, you've grown up thinking you're not nice, you're not beautiful.
But in the history, you have been called as the Naomi Campbell of India. That was, I'm sure that was the media used to give you the name to you. So how was your comparison with Naomi? Because somewhere she also defied the stereotype in the West, and our country is very stereotypical those days.
Actually, I had heard of Iman before I had heard of Naomi, who was a senior.
Okay.
And she was the one who really made the breakthrough.
Okay.
Okay, and Naomi, though, and luckily she came, Naomi also became very popular. It helped me. Okay, because, in India, whatever the West does, we were always like, okay, if they're doing it, then there's something okay.
We need a validation.
We need that validation. So it was always that they were like, oh, she's making so dark girl.
Okay.
We came in around the same time. She came in just a little before me. So these girls actually helped me becoming accepted in the industry. I've heard a lot of things. Began, Kali Kaluti, Began Luti. I've been dropped from a show because I realized it was my look and coloring. After doing fittings and everything fit me, I was sent home. So I've been through, they've seen a black and white picture, called me for a casting. That's why I never went into photo shoots, because that time I knew they wanted fairer girls. Because 1 or 2 times I went and my picture was a black and white picture. They called me thinking I was fair, and then they saw me and said, oh, actually, and made excuses. But I realized the ramp, there was not so much of all this. And because they were also becoming famous abroad, it kind of helped me.
Okay.
And then I said, why not? Because, I was getting work. And luckily, in my 3rd month of modeling, I did the Pierre Cardin show, which was my biggest validation, because he asked...
I think you're the first Indian model to do that?
No, I'm the second.
Okay.
The first Pierre Cardin show, I was not around that time. And Shamini Verma was selected by them.
Yeah, I forgot. Another legend.
Legend.
Yes.
So she had gone to Paris. And then he asked my parents whether, they were willing to send me to Paris. Some journalist heard it, put it in the paper. And in 3 months, I shot to instant fame and got the validation that if Pierre Cardin can like her, then we can also like her, kind of situation. And that's where that whole career kind of skyrocketed. From that one little, the back of India today, there used to be this eye catchers or something section.
Yes.
It came out there. And suddenly I was flooded with people calling me and everything.
Yes.
So that's how my career took off.
But Noyonika, you are a huge stint in modeling, but most of the youngsters these days, their first thinking is it's a ticket to Bollywood. Most of them go, in fact, most of the models did attempt Bollywood. But somewhere I think few of them, you were one of the few of them. I'm sure you must have got offers at that time, but you never actually went to Bollywood per se.
The thing is that One thing is very good, that I have a very supportive family and very realistic family. At that point, they were not going to take my kind of features as a regular actress, mainstream media. It would be like more Smita Patil kind of, art movie. And I was getting offers for Hindi movies, but it was the ma'am, hatke role hai. I understood hatke role means as a negative character, a villainous, because of the strong features and this whole thing. And I realized that that was not my calling. I didn't want to do neither heroine and run around trees. At that time it was all that. And I said, that's not me. And also being from a Bengali background, too much education was the emphasis.
Okay.
And modeling was not a profession that time. We made it a profession, yes, but it wasn't. So these factors and the reality, I mean, I would have done one film, 2 films, and then they would have just cast me aside as a negative or, So I said, then do what, you are capable of and do it to the best. So that's where I decided that I'm not even going to look, like I never pursued print shooting. I never pursued it, but designers used to use me for shooting. Okay. I stuck to that. And I stuck to fashion shows. Okay. I didn't even try to get into ads and, things like that. Yeah. So you have to be a little realistic also. You have to have attainable goals is what I say. Yeah. If I'm going to think that I'm going to look like Aishwarya and start acting tomorrow, that's what they wanted and that was not what I could provide. So why go there?
Yeah. Talking of 90s, the big, I would say, the revolution of 90s was with the 1991, where Sushmita Sen, Aishwarya, they all won the international beauty pageant. Those Persis Khambata had done it in the past, but somewhere the 90s brought that change for beauty pageants in India. So how do you think suddenly the whole India wanted to be a Sushmita Sen, Aishwarya, and the game changed?
Actually, the thing is that I think it happened around 96, 94 or 96, one of those years. What happened was that Times of India really upped their game. Okay. There was Mr. Guha who had come in, and he had gone and done a lot of research about pageants. Okay. Yeah, so he realized that we were not as professional and we were not looking at the right things. So he changed the whole pageant thing. He also brought in the look of the year, which was with elite models. The same time, a little after Miss India, and he made Miss India more professional. Okay. That's when people started winning. So they used to get proper training and, clothes were organized. There was a structure to the contest, which was not there before. Girls were just getting their outfits that they could afford. And not everyone could afford those days. So someone's outfit would be worse or someone. Here, everything was planned for them. Their shoots were planned. Good makeup artists were called. So that, you are not doing patchy makeup on yourself and trying to look good. Okay. So it got into a professional level. And these girls were going there and just shining because everything was like they were trained and, of course they were picked. They were handpicked like girls. That time, yes, you come and join. We used to go actually and scout. And I know at one point I just started looking at girls as models. Can she model? Come, do Miss India or do Look of the Year. Okay. It had become that kind of a situation. And I think that led to that. And again, today, there's so many contests that not each contest has that credibility. So you see the training and all that is not on par. That's why it got a little nullified right now.
Yes.
And also, unfortunately, in India, Bollywood has become bigger than fashion. For fashion also. So then everyone's aim is only Bollywood. It's not being the best model. Like in abroad, Naomi might have done a film or two, or Linda or whatever, Christy Turtington, who were the big names at that time. But they stuck to modeling, essentially, and did that to the best of their cripple. Here, there's a big mix-up and very fine line. Everyone thinks it's a stepping stone, not a career on its own, which is where the problem is. you know.
But talking of your career, I like the fact that you transitioned from a model to a grooming. You started a grooming school in Delhi. You got married. You're balancing your life while working. So how did you plan your career after? Because modeling somewhere has a short shelf life, but eventually you have to mold your career to something meaningful, like you did, and you're an inspiration to so many models as well. That you're doing so well with the family. Also, you're managing and you're working as well.
First, I'm going to talk about the fact that my career spanned this long because I think initially it wasn't planning, but it became a plan. The year I stopped studying and I started only full-time modeling, I had become a monster. So my mother told me, and you know, in modeling, there are months when you don't get work because it's either too hot, summer, not so much shows, or deep in winter, there's not so much work. Wedding season, you won't get hotels, so you know, stuff like that. So there were many pockets where you didn't do any work, so you were sitting at home. And because you had become a model, my attitude had also become like, oh my God, you know, I'm something special. My parents told me, when you come back into the house, you're our child, and you know, whatever you might be outside, you have to maintain your attitude. Then I realized that this is happening because I'm sitting and not doing a lot. You know, your vacant time, empty vessel, you make a lot of noise in the house when they take it. So I realized I have to plan, you know, and do. That's when I started training for Miss India. I worked with the Fashion TV when it came into India. I worked with them for 2 years. I worked with Anupam Kher for 2 years. So I kept myself busy. So your mind is not always inactive. And then your interest every time you go to model is fresh. So it's not like, acha, yehi kar rahe. You were going in, going out, going in, going out. That way, the careers, I started trying out different things related to it and continued modeling. Then the interest was also there. You know, it didn't become something boring and stale and everything. And I had a very supportive husband and in-laws. So my husband, who had also been a model and a TV actor, and he and my in-laws understood that, okay, if she's getting work, let her do it. If I didn't have that support, I don't think I could have carried on after the baby. You know, because I'd moved to Delhi, and at least in Bombay, I had my parents, I could have left, you know, but in Delhi, it was a new territory. But as soon as I started getting work and I told them, they said, okay, go, we'll manage the rest. So when I come home, I would manage. But if I didn't have that support, I wouldn't have been able to do it. You know? So, and I lived in a joint family, so there was lots of people looking after everything. So that helped me a lot.
So nowadays, the youngsters, they find it very easy. Everybody's an Instagram star nowadays. Even Gali Mohallas, everybody's a star. So somewhere things have become very easy. It's very easy fame, but there's no fame at all at the end of the day. So what do you have to say with this influx of social media and this beauty pageants happening in every corner of India? So
first of all, I think social media has its good points and bad points. You can become famous like you are, but I feel that people have lost their path of content. Any content does. That is what we have to siphon out: good content and bad content. You see strange old ladies wearing just a blouse and a petticoat and doing these strange numbers. But if you see the likes on that thing, you'll see it goes into thousands and thousands.
Viral.
Goes viral. So I don't understand the point of that kind of content. And there's not enough education, in our country. Like you'll see a villager who thinks, acha, blouse petticoat pehan ke kar liya naach to ban gaye. But that doesn't resonate with what we need as a society. We're not just about to do anything. That nullifies and makes society a very strange place. And also, people lose that touch with actual reality. Is your Instagram or your whatever social media that you're becoming so popular in, for whatever content, does it give you work? Does it, do anything beyond just giving you that fame, which is a very hollow fame?
It's very short-lived.
It's very short-lived, and you constantly on the stress of trying to create that content. You're not getting an expert in your job. you're just creating random content. So I think there's both sides to it. One, if your content is really good, there's so many things on Instagram, people I follow, who have some good content, whether it's cooking or whether it's self-help or wellness,
yes,
or there are lots of spheres. But what really bothers me is this bad content, which kind of the values of society have gone, and that kind of thing I do not understand, and I do not propagate that. So I said, when you're doing something, please understand the repercussions of it also. Think about the not for yourself, more for society. People are now become more individualistic because of the मैं करूँगा, I don't care. मेरे को परवाह नहीं है. That kind of thing. Like we were not inhibited in that way that, okay, we will break paths, but it has to be something really path breaking. Not just dancing in a petticoat or a blouse. That's not path breaking.
No.
And so I think the understanding of the people, because it's come so fast, and also concentration of education has gone away.
तो नयनिका, अभी मॉडलिंग अभी भी लोगों का लेकिन इंटरेस्ट रहता है, अभी भी कोई ब्यूटी पेजेंट में इतने सारे लोग पूरे देश से आते हैं, तो अभी भी क्या सपना देखा जा सकता है कि मॉडल बन सके? तो किस तरह से आज के यंगस्टर अगर इसको अपना करियर देखना चाहें तो पॉसिबल है कि नहीं?
ऑफ कोर्स पॉसिबल है, सब कुछ पॉसिबल है, बट ये तो द ह्यूमन पार्ट ऑफ इट एलिमेंट जो चला गया है विद ऑल दिस टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एवरीथिंग, कि सब लोग एडिट करने लगे हैं ये वो. That is what is the only thing that is a big problem. Like if you shoot a picture, इतना edit कर देते हो, जब when you real life में वो उनसे मिलते हो तो देखते एकदम अलग है. That they have to just keep in mind, that be as realistic as possible, because reality is your life cannot just be on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to be the same person otherwise you're faking it. Okay, let's not make it a fake world. So improve yourself, and then of course everything is possible. And now it's a era of inclusivity. Now they're not looking at only height, they're not only looking at fair skin, they're looking at a lot of things. Age bhi बढ़ गई है, a lot of contests. And not everyone is going to be under 21 or 22. Now they've increased the contest age to 27. For Miss Indias and that kind of thing. So everything is possible, just do not fake it.
तो आज हमारे साथ नयनिका ने बहुत सारी बातें शेयर की फैशन के बारे में, ग्रूमिंग के बारे में. थैंक यू सो मच नयनिका.
Thank you so much.
For me, you are the real OG of fashion.
Oh,
I have,
so
I think you'll be always inspiring all the generation coming, and that's what the aim of this podcast was, to tell the viewers that the real OG fashion icons are people like Noyonika, Madhu Sapre, Milind Soman. I mean, those people, they define fashion. Thank you so much, and keep on inspiring.
Thank you so much.